Okay, progress update. Well, after 2 cuts, one of them even threw a glove. Here, I'm all butchered up. I was able to shave away some of the glue with this X-Acto knife around the edges. I was able to very carefully get this connector off. Again, sorry, I'm way too close up. But I was able to get that off, so now I can remove the circuit board. Okay? So, I will carefully set this aside. Then we just have the frame. Now, it looks like another possibly tricky part is going to be threading this out. Doesn't look like there's very much room here in the hub to actually get the connector through there. It is slotted, I see, so I'm going to have to put the camera down and try to work this through there, and then hopefully pull the hub off. And then I'll start the procedure on this wheel to do the same thing. Hopefully we don't have a glued main connector inside this one. I'm not sure. One other point about that, on the beta wheel that I tried, the connector, instead of being on the front, again, sorry, I need 3 hands. Instead of the connector being on the front here, the connector on the beta wheel was actually on the back, on the inside of this hole. So I don't know, I never went as far as to actually disconnect it. It wasn't glued, but it would have been pretty difficult to reach around from the back side and pull that off just through this little hole. So I'm actually glad they put it on the front. But again, reliability fantastic. I love the fact that these wheels are built to last a long time. Maybe that's what the epoxy or whatever's on the connector is for, but it makes it very difficult to service or make mods or adjustments. But so far everything else has been painless about this. That's just the one thing that you have to be very wary of. So I'm going to work on getting this cable threaded through the axle and pull the wheel rim off, and then I'll check back in. Okay, so we were able to thread the cable through. There's kind of a slot here that's shaped like the end of the cable connector, so we were able to thread it through. So now the rim is loose. So the only connections on the only electronic things on the rim at all are the 2 vibration motors, which must be built in here somewhere. I don't see the motors themselves, but maybe they're in this area, I'm not sure. But these are the connector. Sorry, bad camera work. These are the connectors for them. So we've got the rim out. Here's the rest of the wheel. Here's that connector with that awful glue on there. I am going to work on the other wheel, and then it should be fairly straightforward to swap them. Okay, we've got the GT3RS wheel now. I don't need to show you the whole disassembly procedure, but one thing that's different is you don't take out the logo in the center. You actually take out the entire gray round thing here. I had to use a really thin screwdriver, and I started down here, and I still nicked up the plastic just slightly, so you want to be careful. This is in here pretty tight. Work it slowly, and then it'll come off like that. So that just snaps on here like this. So now I can see with this wheel a little bit easier. Not sure if this comes through on the camera, but it looks like with this wheel it's a little bit easier to get to these 3. That's my dog coming in. A little bit easier to get to these 3 screws to get the wheel off the hub. It also looks like, it's interesting, the connectors are different here. Here's an empty connector, and here's one connector, and it looks like it's not glued. But the main connector, oh, these are probably the vibration motors. The main connector looks like it's on the back side, like it was on the Beta 911 Turbo wheel. So I don't know, we'll have to see how difficult that is to get off. First thing I'm going to do is undo these 3 screws so that we can pull the wheel free. Okay, so I've gotten the 3 screws undone using this guy. I have to say again, very, very, very tight, the screws, and it looks like they do have some Loctite on them or something similar to that. So be very careful to avoid stripping them. I had a couple of oops where the screwdriver spun because I wasn't pressing in hard enough, and you really, really need to lean on it. That was a workout to get those 3 out. So I left the third one in here just to show you the game of operation that I'm talking about, to try to get them out without having them drop in. Now I did realize after disassembling the last wheel, it's not a big deal if they do fall in because you're going to have access to the inside anyway, but easier to get it out the right way. So this should now just slide off. There we go. And now you see here you have access to the cable. And then I'm going to start the procedure of undoing the screws in the rear. Here, these 3 right here, and 1 down here at the bottom to get this faceplate off, and then we'll have more access. Okay, so I'm just finishing up getting these screws disconnected that hold the faceplate on the front of the wheel. So I think that's loose. Go ahead and put the hub back on loosely. Like that. Pull this off. Okay, so it looks like I see we've got our 2 vibration motors for the wheel rim here and here. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, that's the USB connection. I can read it on the circuit board, and this is an example, if you can even see it, I'm not sure if you can, of how the connector is on the back side of the circuit board on this one, like the old beta wheel. Looks like it might not have any glue on it, so that's good. Ooh, I might have spoken too soon. It might have some. Oh boy. Alright, well, I'm going to work on same system here as the other one with the nice steel rods that are inside of here that slide out there and there to get these buttons off. So I'm going to pull these 4 buttons off, and these 2 down here just pop off like this. Same nice construction inside with the little rubber boots that cover up on the buttons and the really good button feel. You can see there's no LEDs on this wheel. Other than that, it looks very similar except for the circuit board layout. So I'm going to get these buttons off. Okay, now the buttons are off. It looks like, I'm just checking now to make sure that the buttons that light up will fit the rim. And it looks like they probably will. We'll see once we get it done. It'd be nice once we put the circuit board that has the LEDs in this rim, and on that body we'd like to have the lights light up as well. I'd like to have the lights light up as well. So anyway, the last steps to getting this circuit board freed are pry that off. 2 piles here for 2 different wheels. And then we've got screws here, 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 and here. I've disconnected the USB connection as well as the 2 vibration motors. Now, one interesting thing, as opposed to this wheel, which it looks like the vibration motors actually come up and they do not go through the center hub of the circuit board. They were just kind of connected this way. It looks like on the GT3RS wheel, all the cables come through the hole. So I'll have to remember when I'm reassembling to bring these back out the same way and route everything the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and take this circuit board off and see if I can get to the back side of it, have enough stretch in the cable to get to the back side of it and pull that connector off. Hopefully it won't give me trouble like the last one did.